Rejection, why is it so hard to deal with? So best guys, I'm Miss Farzana and I'm one of SGU psychology intern. So for tonight's topic is rejection, why is it so hard to deal with? So basically for this topic, I'm going to share about what social rejection is, why some of us feel so rejected, and also how to deal with it.
When I was in my freshman year of high school, I liked this one girl who was kind, she was smart, she was funny, had a great sense of humor, and I developed feelings for her during the school year. My school, they put on a dance, and my friend told me about it. He was like, "Hey, are you gonna go with anyone?" And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll ask my crush out. And my friend was like, "Ooh, asking out your crush? You making moves?" And I just kind of laughed it off when I said, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna make my move, It's like a now or never. And my friend was like, yeah, okay, I see you. Go get her. And I was like, thanks, yo. Before the dance, I had bought 2 tickets, one for me, one for her. I had to choose between 2 ways to ask her out. The first way I could have done it was I could have done it casually, but I don't want to do it casually. I want to go up and say, hey, want to go to the dance with me? What's the fun in that? So I decided, you know what, I'm going to make this elaborate. So what I did is that my school offers singing telegrams, and what they do is that, like, you choose a song. I chose the You and Me song by the Wannadies. I paid them $10, went all out, added, like, give her this, like, give her these chocolates, give her some candy. Second period is when they send the telegram. And second period comes, I'm just thinking, like, you know what, they're sending this telegram out right now. But I felt confident in myself saying, you know what, she's going to be so touched by this, she's going to be so flattered, she's going to have to say yes. And I was like, yeah, mission accomplished. That is until lunch came around. One of my friends told me, hey, this girl was looking for you. I was like, okay, man, tell her where I'm at. And then she finds me with her group of people. She has a huge group of friends. There's like 15 people in her girl group. And she looks me dead in the eye, everyone watching us. So there was like 200 kids looking at us. And she says, I appreciate that you sent me that message, but I don't want to go to the dance with you. I'm sorry. My friends, they were just like, roasting on me. They were like, oh man, he got denied. He got rejected, friend zoned. I try to act cool and poised, and I just walked out. When I got home, I was an emotional wreck. I was in tears. I was angry. I was upset. But you have to think about this. No, this isn't going to be the first heartbreak I'm going to go through in my life. You got to go through some heartbreaks to actually find someone who's actually interested in you, for you. And I go back to school. The people who were roasting on me actually gave me some respect. They were like, you know what you did was above and beyond. We wouldn't do anything like that. And I didn't go to the dance. I just gave the tickets away to a friend of mine who already had a date. So yeah, that was like the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me up to this point in my life.
Have you recently been rejected, or have you recently rejected someone else? Rejection hurts no matter how you slice it. It happens all the time. Maybe you have been rejected by a new crush, rejected by a friend group, or didn't get the ideal job you applied for. No matter what type of rejection it is, being told no after putting it all out there can be painful. It's enough to make you want to quit putting yourself out there in the first place. If you're having trouble dealing with rejection, it might help to understand where it originates from and apply some coping tactics. When we are not included, accepted, or approved of, we feel rejected. Rejection entails the loss of what we own or desire, and rejection, like abandonment, makes us feel unwanted and inadequate. Rejection can be active, such as in bullying or taunting, and it can also be passive, as in the act of giving someone the silent treatment or ignoring them. We may react to rejection with animosity, dejection, retreat, and even envy. What is the opposite of rejection? Social acceptance is the polar opposite of social rejection. When people wish to include us in their organizations or have a connection with us, we are said to be socially accepted. Acceptance and rejection in social situation occur on a spectrum, with acceptance on one end and rejection on the other. As a result, we may feel relatively accepted by someone at one moment and comparatively rejected by them the next. We can also feel some place in the center. Although rejection is frequently intentional, that is, the rejecter does it on purpose, it does not have to be. We genuinely differ in how sensitive we are to rejection and may believe that someone is rejecting us when they are not. For example, a lack of agreement or laughing at our joke may be seen as rejection, even if the individual does not want to reject us. In general, a woman may be more sensitive to rejection than male. This might be due to the fact that women are frequently more socially oriented and value social ties more than male. As a result, women may experience more painful rejection in relationships. What is the meaning of social rejection? Human beings have a basic yearning to belong. Some say this is because humans lack claws and fangs, making us susceptible to predators. Being a part of a community helps us to survive. As a result, some of us who were more group oriented fared better. According to a study, modern people are all immensely group oriented. Whether or not this evolutionary hypothesis is right, we do know that having feeling of belonging, social connection, and engagement in relationship is important for our health, pleasure, and even survival. Social interaction may be the most helpful factor for our health and well-being. Our sense of belonging is divided into two parts. One, it entails consistent, pleasant social contact. Second, it provides a stable platform for mutual concerns. Being a part of a group provides us with a sense of self-worth and affirmation for our essential values, in addition to a sense of belonging. Overall, this makes social acceptability incredibly essential to us. According to some According to some studies, social rejection feels quite comparable to physical pain. It affects brain areas involved in both sensory and emotional aspects of brain. So the more extreme the rejection, the more strong the pain reaction is. Thinking about a recent romantic relationship breakout, it induced both emotional and physical pain responses in brain. So when people say social rejection hurts, they truly mean it. How does rejection affect us? Because rejection destroys social relationship and causes us to experience a slew of bad feelings, it can have disastrous consequences. For starters, it can impair cognitive performance. Our minds are all influenced by bad emotion and thoughts. Second, it promotes hostility and may even result in violence. Third, it may encourage more selfish conduct. And fourth, it can impair our self control. Yes, when we're feeling rejected, we we tend to like overeat or like not eat at all or like eat an entire tub of ice cream. Fifth, it leads to false belief. In general, the more frequent the rejection and the younger you were when you were rejected, the bigger the damage. Young children are especially vulnerable since they are still forming their self worth and self concept. Even if no one explicitly told you that you were inadequate or unlovable, you may have concluded this after being rejected. Since young children lack of the thinking abilities and life experiences to properly comprehend all of the various causes for rejection. So being rejected as a youngster might lead to the notion that you are insufficient, and these erroneous ideas exacerbate the pain of rejection and can become self-fulfilling. And lastly, it leads to putting up emotional walls. So we naturally wish to shield ourselves against future rejection, since rejection is so hurtful. So we do this by creating emotional barriers or refraining from disclosing vulnerable information such as difficulties, hopes, and dreams. We mistakenly assume that keeping people at a distance will will save us from becoming connected or falling in love, or that rejection would be less painful if the other person doesn't know us well. Another thing that happens is that we begin to expect rejection. We believe rejection is unavoidable, so we reject the other person before they can reject us. Again, we believe that this will spare us from the agony of losing someone we care about or who we would like to get to know better. Rejecting people may give us a sense of control and power, but it does not make the loss any less painful. Putting up emotional walls and rejecting others early does not help us develop happy relationship or protect us from the agony of rejection. In addition to the traditional example of bullying rejection, there are other more rejection situations that are typical in modern adult life. The following are some examples of societal rejection. Examples of workplace rejection. First, when you do not receive the job you desired. Second, when someone else obtains the job you wanted. Third, your employees go out to lunch but do not ask you. And lastly, when you share your thoughts at a meeting and everyone ignores you. Unfortunately, some children are also rejected at home. This adds another level of agony. Examples of familiar rejection, which are criticism, being told you're not good enough, or being called unpleasant names. And then, second is abuse, neglect, or abandonment. Third is being put for adoption, especially if done with love. It might seem like rejection. And then fourth, being overlooked. Fifth, being informed that your feelings, thoughts, or views are incorrect or irrelevant. Seventh, your parents preferring your younger siblings. Eighth, you were dismissed because you were difficult or troubled. Ninth, being told that you lack skill and should abandon your aspirations and desires. And then lastly, lack of acceptance or rejection of your sexual orientation or gender identity. There are a few examples of relationship rejections. First is when your relationship has ended. Second, when your partner declines a marriage proposal. And then third, when your partner goes out with their pals and they do not invite you. And then lastly, when your partner refuses to attend your significant life events. These are just a few instances of how rejection may manifest itself in various aspects of your life. What exactly is rejection sensitivity? As previously said, we differ in how we perceive and respond to rejection. While some of us may interpret our friend's failure to ask us to lunch as a rejection, others may justify that they forgot or were unaware that we would wish to go. And the reality about what our friend meant might be quite different. Rejection sensitive people are those who notice when they are rejected in even little ways, or who believe that they are rejected even when they are not. As a result, rejection sensitivity is characterized as the propensity to anxiously anticipate, recognize, and overreact to rejection. What effect does rejection sensitivity have on relationship? Being rejected causes people to become rejection sensitive, which is a fully natural and understandable reaction. However, just because something makes logic does not imply that it is healthy. Indeed, rejection sensitivity might unwittingly elicit the precise sensation we seek to avoid, which is rejection. It might make us chronically uneasy in our relationships and drive us to overreact to our partner's imagined rejection. Our rejected sentiments may cause us to become aggressive, jealous, or domineering, all of which are difficult to tolerate in relationships. This is only one of the reasons why knowing how to change our impression of rejection and how we respond to it might be useful in creating healthy relationships. What is rejection sensitive dysphoria? Okay, rejection sensitive dysphoria is a severe kind of rejection sensitivity that can occur alongside attention deficit disorder or autism. It may be extremely challenging for these people to focus their attention and regulate their emotions. Maintaining appropriate responses to real or imagined rejection may be more challenging as a result. How to handle rejection? Okay, we may all benefit from learning to cope with rejection in better ways, whether we are rejection sensitive or not. This can help us reduce the mental and bodily agony that comes with rejection. These tactics may be used to deal with employment rejection, rejection in personal relationships, and social rejection from friends or family. Here are some of scientifically proven methods for dealing with rejection. Firstly is to validate your feelings. It hurts regardless of the source of rejection. Others may dismiss what happened as insignificant and advise you to go on, but the sorrow may remain, especially if you are particularly sensitive to rejection. Other unpleasant emotions associated with rejection include humiliation and discomfort. Except for you, no one can tell you how you're feeling. It is necessary to accept your rejection sentiments before you can begin to address them. Telling yourself that you don't care about getting wounded when you truly do prevents you from confronting and managing this fear successfully. Second is to write about your feelings of rejection. According to research, writing about your sentiments and potential consequences of rejection may be an effective approach to process those feelings and get past them more quickly. Third is to learn to take rejection. Accepting rejection rather than assessing or explaining it may aid in the faster reduction of unpleasant emotional responses. Acceptance is, of course, not always simple. To effectively practice acceptance, keep in mind that acceptance is not the same as surrender. Acceptance does not imply being a doormat or putting up with an unfavorable situation. Acceptance simply means acknowledging and accepting yourself, your thoughts, and your feelings. Then, if necessary, you may take action from a place of acceptance. Fourth is to concentrate on the good. Although rejection is unpleasant, some data shows that it increases the availability of happy feelings. This might imply that emotion management tactics involve happy feelings are more successful at this time. Lastly is to attempt to emotionally distance yourself from the rejection. Imagine your rejection as if you were a fly on a wall or a stranger on the street. This is emotional detachment. When you look at your circumstances from the outside, it might assist the negative feelings to disappear more rapidly. It is tough to be rejected. It is painful and unavoidable. It never feels good when things don't go as planned, but not all of life experiences come out as planned. So reminding yourself that rejection is a natural aspect of life, something that everyone will encounter at some point. This thought may help you to feel less fearful of rejection. Fortunately, there are several things that we can do to to lessen the discomfort or shorten its duration. It is tough to be rejected. It is painful and unavoidable. It never feels good when. That's all from me for tonight, and thank you for listening till the end. Don't forget to fill out the Google form link in the comment section below for your Scoren reward. Thank you.